Pam Bondi is the Attorney General of Florida, and she says in court documents that recognizing same-sex marriages performed in other states would disrupt the existing marriage laws of Florida and, quote, impose significant harm. This is nothing we haven't seen before. It's the same blah, blah, blah from the right about protecting families and stable family units and blah, blah, blah. And Pam Bondi made the case in these documents that gay families are simply not stable, so that it's really bad for children to be parented by a gay couple or by a lesbian couple. The only problem with this is that Pam Bondi herself has been divorced twice and is in the middle of another marriage debacle right now. So it's just funny to me because this is really not about stability being associated with a certain type of relationship. We can see stable and unstable heterosexual relationships, gay relationships, lesbian relationships. We can see stable single-parent households. And the problem is that what seems to be a nationwide problem, which is that of more than half of marriages end in divorce, is now being conveniently scapegoated on gay marriage and gay adoption. And Pam Bondi herself is an example of why these arguments make no sense. It seems that for any child, all of her households would have been very, very unstable.
Right. This is another example of deferring to experts. You know, all of the research points in a certain direction, but you have here an attorney general saying something contrary to that. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people are probably listening.
I'm going to suggest something that might be really crazy. Maybe we can't determine whether a household is good or bad for a child simply based on the sexual orientation of the parents. Maybe there are other factors specific to each situation that determine whether it's a good or bad environment for a child. I know this is crazy, Lewis, not casting aspersions on huge groups of people as parents, but just looking at individual situations. But maybe there's something valuable there.
Maybe. Say that to the people who think that if a child doesn't grow up with a mother and a father, that they'll turn into, Bundy or any other serial killer.
Right. Ted Bundy, not Pam Bondi. We want to make sure that to make that distinction.
Yeah. That could have been confusing. Sorry about that.
I don't know that there's that much else to say about it. If you still think that simply the sexual orientation of the parents determines whether it's a good or bad environment for a child, there's nothing I can say that's going to convince you. But at least this maybe will serve as some data for those who understand our point of view. That sometimes what's that phrase, Lewis? This is something that I'm not that good at in English. Those who live in glass houses should not throw stones. Is that the way it goes?
I believe so, yes.
Yes, well, that should apply to this situation. Facebook.com/David Pakman Show. Next, tax cuts. Good for the economy or bad for the economy? We have data from Kansas, and I will present that data to you next.